Can I just say, I still love this password theme. I'm getting right back into this. Alright, sweet. So I actually did a recording of Storm Eagle's stage. Wasn't too happy with it. I don't know. I feel like I could have done a bit better. With that being said, one thing I can say about him is he's fucking awesome. Alright, like, out of, like, both my friends that I've showed him to, which is a very small sample size, I'll admit, like, the first time they looked at him, especially in his, like, battle stance at the beginning of his boss intro, both Raj and my other friend, they're like, okay, that guy's awesome. And I feel like every game, to some degree, has that really cool Maverick. They have, like, that one that just has that awesome factor to them. And in this game, that's gotta be Storm Eagle. And this extends to his music, too. My favorite part right here. So right here, since I let the music play a little bit, because honestly, it's a short loop. Stage's also actually pretty short. Once you really get to understand a stage, I think that's sort of my philosophy. It's like, when you actually get to know a stage and you can, like, sort of run it through entirely in your head, it becomes way shorter than you initially would have thought. Right here, these danger flammable things, they might look like you would need the fire wave to destroy, but with enough buster shots, you can just destroy these things. It takes a little bit. We'll see a few of those a little later in the stage. There's something I should mention about the dash that I didn't bring before. But they're right here on top of the platform, at the beginning of the stage. You can nab the life upgrade. These, what are they called? Heart tanks? They increase your health by 2 points. So you start the game with 16 points of health, which is a lot less than the classic Mega Man did, and the bosses start at 32. There's 8 of these, 1 in each of the Maverick stages. That means that by the end of the game, you will effectively have doubled your life count, all the way up to 32, to the other Mavericks standards. Something I should mention about the dash that I think is kind of interesting. In this game, there are very few occasions, one that I'll bring up a bit later, because it can be a bit of an infamous one for speedrunners. On some moving platforms, the dash gets eaten, kind of. It might just have to do with, like, the way the game is trying to, like, register, like, movement. I don't really know. I just know that, like, it doesn't seem as consistent as people would hope. Not that you would want it to consistently eat dashes anyway. But, like, I'm not really sure of the issue. The second thing, is that it seems, not that you can see this, but, on very occasional times, during X's turning phase, when you turn him in the other direction, certain parts of that animation, it seems like there's a couple frames where you just flat out can't dash. Maybe it has to do with me trying to dash like a frame before I turn, so it cancels it out like this. I don't really know, but it seems like it does do it sometimes, even if I turn before dashing. One last thing I'll mention, just so I can, move things along, is when you're trying to do like a dash jump off a wall, you have to press dash and jump at the same time. You have to, like, individually press a dash input as well as the jump. In X2 and X3, I think this was, like, kind of improved, where all you need to do is be holding dash and press jump. But in this game, you have to actually press it again. If you destroy this guy and stand on this platform, it'll rise up and get to this window right here you can shoot open. And one of these things, if you take it out with enough shots, the whole thing breaks. So, like, you know, awesomeness intensifies. You know, speaking of Storm Eagle's awesomeness, I want to point out that in his character description, the reason he turned Maverick is because he actually was originally fighting against Sigma. So therefore, you know, already, like, his attempt at being more of a freedom fighter, whatever you want to call him, really cements that coolness factor that he was going to go against Sigma, and but eventually Sigma defeated him, and he had no choice, and he had to join his cause, I guess. That just makes me think, in an alternate universe, he would have actually won this encounter, or at least it wouldn't have deterred him, and he would have sided with X and Zero, and, like, it would have been, like, the best fucking trio ever. So, therefore, that is my alternate canon, and you can't take it from me, it's mine. This right here, some more of these flammable, destructive things go in here, and let's get the most useless power up in the game. This capsule contains an enhancement for your helmet, which will allow you to break some ceilings with a headbutt. And that's all he has to say. After the first intro to his text, he kind of abridges his text, basically just saying, this is what the upgrade does, just do it. Wow, how interesting, it breaks certain ceilings. You know, it's not like you can break this or anything. This creates a bit of a trend that really exists until X4, and that's, in terms of, like, gameplay functionality, the helmet upgrade is, like, by far the most useless out of all four. I'll bring that up more as we go along with the other upgrades. I also want to point out that in order to get here to this ledge, I don't think you can get here. Well, actually, it might be possible to get here without a dash, but it's very obviously not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, like, just dash jump off the wall in some capacity. So, I'm going to assume that without the dash, it's not really possible to get that, but it might be. I honestly don't know. We have some Mets returning from the classic series. I don't know why they're, like, the only characters to return from the classic series. Actually, there's one more enemy that makes a return, and we'll see that a bit later. And it's literally only one enemy. I don't mean one type of enemy. There's exactly one in the game. I mean, it's respawning, but there's exactly one. Something about this stage just really interesting. I know I've been sort of on a tangent on most of the stage. This is the tangential stage. But I don't know. I really love the aesthetic. Probably my favorite thing about this is the ending. Not just the boss, but, like, sort of things leading up to the boss. You can see right here the clouds in the background indicate that this fortress is going way, way up. You can enter this door, and you'll just walk through there, and that's, like, sort of an unusual boss entrance, where you just have to walk on that platform there. But if you go to the right, you can get a few goodies, and you can jump on the platform. And once you do, boom! Now that's satisfying. And down comes Storm Eagle. For all the cool stuff I can say about him, he's a fucking joke. Yes, he's not as weak as, say, Chill Penguin, but a lot of his attacks, as I get hit there, a lot of his attacks are pretty easy to dodge in some capacity. For some reason, these dive bombs, you can either come from the left or right, but if you jump straight up, he can't get you if you time it right. No matter which direction he's coming from. I'm thinking to myself, you know, there's a ROM hack of Mega Man X called Mega Man X Hard Type, And this boss room was mostly embedded with some spikes in the floor. Or should I say spikes were embedded in the floor. Yeah, so that was pretty horrible. And, oh yeah, also, these dives were so difficult to... Like, they were so fast that it was pretty much too difficult to, like, be able to hit him with, like, by just turning in the right direction. So you basically had to just repeatedly fire and just hope that he goes on the left or right. Every other attack Storm Eagle does, without any spikes here, I'll admit is kind of pathetic. Other than the dive bombs and the eggs that he spits out that spawn the 4 babies. Which, by the way, congratulations. I mean, you know, like, not many people recognize these kind of things, but a lot of bird enemies, they give birth in the middle of a battle. It's, you know what, I really... Actually, does that mean that Storm Eagle is a she this whole time? I'm having a hard time understanding this. I mean, I know he spits out the eggs, and it's not the way eggs exist. But, like, not that they would even show the actual birthing of an egg. Birthing of an egg. Why do so many, like, enemies that can lay eggs, they typically do, and they just, like, repeatedly throw them at you, or sometimes they have, like, babies come out of them, and then, like, they attack you. It's like, they were just born, man. Like, be happy about it. Calm down, dude. Other than that, though, this guy can be basically taken down with just a bunch of dash shots. He's not as weak to the mid shot, like Chill Penguin only does 1 damage. The fully charged shot does 2, like normal, but you might as well just dash shot to avoid the time it takes to charge this whole thing up. Honestly, though, yeah, this fight is kind of a joke. I'd say that the hard type version kind of takes things a bit in the opposite direction and actually makes this thing kind of a big piece of shit. But this one really isn't too bad. Also, when you see he's about to spit out the eggs, you could just go off screen and, like, the eggs will despawn. It's kind of funny. Babies. When I was showing Raj the game, he picked Storm Eagle after he got the dash boots. Like, he didn't beat Chill Penguin, which is fine. Chill Penguin's... For first-time players, he's definitely not the easiest. But, every time, this guy would spit out some eggs. And I told him, like, run off screen. I yelled out, babies! Which is, like, probably really awkward for any neighbors that heard us. But anyway, with that, that's the end of Storm Eagle. Really cool boss in design and concept and all that. Kind of mediocre execution. You know what's also great? This airship now is falling in the sky. It slowed down its ascent, and now it's charging down. We get the Storm Tornado for all of this, which is like the best weapon in the game, which adds to Storm Eagle's awesomeness. It's only 1 ammo per usage, and it tears through like every fucking enemy, except for bosses, obviously, but usually that's sort of to be expected. And yeah, I wonder where that airship crashed. Probably not going to be important. Probably not too interesting. So with that, in the next episode, we'll be tackling Flame Mammoth with the newly acquired Storm Tornado. Except I'm not going to be using weaknesses, so we'll just assume that I'm following the weakness chain without actually using them. But I'll see you then.